We're getting a few people in here. I just posted in the group. Give it a couple more minutes and I'm gonna go live and we're gonna get started. All right, everybody, welcome. Good morning. Happy Monday. Type in the chat if you live and you ready to get started. Type it in. Let me know. All right, let's get into it. Can you guys see me? Turn on the camera.
Yeah.
Show some love. Turn it up. Got a nice little view today. Let me know if the audio is good. Y'all could unmute, talk to me, guys. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Yo, good morning, man. How you doing?
Doing good. How's it going? Had a good weekend?
It's been all right.
Yeah,
Trying to get some work done.
Anything fun happened this weekend? Anybody get any major deals done? Any good rest in? Family time? Give me some highlights. Anybody got any highlights?
Hit some PRs in the gym.
Okay, some hours in the gym. I like that. Who else?
I started this program on Friday and DMs on Thursday, and I did one demo, and I'm closing them right now. So I have a launch call.
Let's go. We got a deal about the close. That's what I like to hear. Congrats on that. That's good news.
Thanks, brother.
Anybody else? Any accomplishments? Any big wins?
I got my first 2 demos tomorrow.
Let's go. Got some demo calls in. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Who else? What else? My boy Martin, what up?
How you doing, bro?
Any good wins you got this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we signed a client on for another 14 days, which is great. But I wanted to come on and ask, as far as like switching niches goes, I don't know if I interrupted anyone. If I could ask that, because we're considering it.
Yeah, go into it. Talk to me.
Yeah. So basically, we're in the PT space, right? Pretty much the overall issue to solve with that space is it's a low ticket price. They're like $120 for an hour services. And in order to get these clients like a 3x return at like a $22.50 ticket price, you need like 45 clients in the door month one. I know reoccurring clients come back and everything, you can make your money back, but explaining that to those practices, like they're just super small minded. It's hard to explain, right? Which is just another issue we could solve if we wanted to. But looking at the HVAC space, it's way higher ticket. And what we want to do is really build a sales team and build out our own business rather than, building out the agency funnel and then you're building out another funnel for PT practices. That's in the long term, it's more bulletproof, right? But in the short term, it's just a pain in the ass. So if we're looking at, we want to build out a sales team, we want to build out, our business on the front end, looking at HVAC. That's what we're looking at right now. What are your thoughts on, like, I don't know, testing ads for HVAC?
You're saying switching from which niche to which niche?
Yeah, physical therapy to HVAC.
And you're saying the reasoning is because you don't want to have to nurture the physical therapy niche, client customers for them.
It's just the reason is building out a physical therapy agency. It requires way more building out in the funnel for the PTs themselves. You know what I mean?
I mean, everything is going to require a funnel. I don't understand what you mean.
Yeah, but it's not as simple as just like running ads and then getting leads and closing them. Like, it requires way more squeezing juice out of all the leads you're getting, just
because they're low ticket, you're saying?
Yeah, bro, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's always going to happen on a lower ticket product. So
Yeah.
For me, I had to learn that like probably 3-4 years ago. I switched my business model to going from like lower ticket services to starting with higher ticket services. So that's why I focus on like coaches and consultants that are already at 7 figures and above, or real estate, or like you said, HVAC, where those people are less afraid to spend money on ads and marketing because one deal covers everything. But when you're talking about, I got to make 10, 20 sales before I can even make it make sense for me, it becomes difficult for people to like consistently do that. Like it's too much of a pain period in those first 90 days for them to wait for it to get tested, try out, win, all that stuff. They're not patient enough and they need the money now. So they end up not getting the result. You get what I'm saying? So my recommendation is definitely, either way, just like Joel always says, though, no matter the niche, there's going to be issues and there's going to be stuff that you got to deal with. But like, I would say definitely a higher tier where there's at least $1,000 plus in margin for the customer, for your client and your customer. Like, there's going to be the biggest bang for your buck. Because if you're going to sit out there and try to get leads and you're getting leads for a $100 product, but it costs you the same amount of time and effort to get leads for a $1,000 product, you're better off showing the client that you bought $1,000 client is more impressed than the client that you bought 10 $100 clients.
Yeah. No, definitely. I do like that you're in like the consultant space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I do like that. Just like being the machine behind somebody that has the knowledge. Like, that is very smart as well.
Well, there's a thing about like when we do what we do as digital marketers, automation systems, like all of this stuff, we actually end up learning more about business and business process and systems than most business owners. So that's where it becomes a little bit not challenging, but like I would say mundane, like boring. You know what I'm saying? Like to work with a lot of earlier businesses, people that are just focused on their niche. They don't really understand digital marketing or automations. It could kind of get frustrating. Like if you're just starting out, it's good to put in the reps and kind of go through the process. But like, let's say for me, for example, I've gotten to a point where I had to switch my marketing of saying like, I used to say I work with 6, 7, and 8 figure entrepreneurs. Now I took out the 6 figures and just say, I try to say as much as possible, I work with 8 and 9 figure entrepreneurs. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that just puts it in I'm in a different bracket of people that I'm talking to. So like someone who is at 6 figures or 7 figures, they're looking at me like, oh, what do I need to do to work with that dude? You see what I'm saying? Like, versus like me trying to convince them or trying to explain to them how it's so important and so valuable. Someone who has a team, is making $1 million, they already understand the importance of scaling and automations and systems and processes. So they're more likely to need my services at a higher level than someone who they just need help getting a domain set up. You get what I'm saying? Like they're not going to be as excited to pay $1,000 because they don't even understand what that means. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It just comes down to mindset. Like you're talking like $2,000-$3,000 ticket prices, and their whole practice is making $2,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one last thing I just wanted to ask, as far as like solar versus HVAC, I know it's just like a basic ass question, but would you have any experience in either or tips in researching both, like things to consider?
I personally don't have any experience in either one of those niches. What I do, I did door-to-door sales for a Fortune 500 company that does like roofs and windows and stuff like that, power home remodeling, and very very cool company. Learned a lot of stuff, and what I did learn as far as like the home remodeling space or you know that niche of like construction, HVAC, solar, all those type of stuff, is that I never in my entire life thought that someone would just buy like a $30,000, $40,000 thing like that day without knowing. Like I don't know how to describe it, but like I literally within the first 2 weeks of learning the script of how to knock on doors, sold a $30,000 roof to this old man. Like, and I don't even know like how it happened, to be honest. Like it was the most astonishing thing I've ever seen in my life of like, because you know, we make silly purchases all the time of like I'm
Yeah.
buying a t-shirt or I'm buying something online or whatever, sneakers, but like a whole roof, like you weren't even thinking about it and then you just bought it today. Like that's a very giant purchase. You know what I'm saying? So like I would say like those type of things like HVAC or solar. The only reason I would say go to HVAC is because HVAC is going to be something that is more of a need, where solar is more of a want.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
it's
Like
great for
somebody
sure.
somebody who needs an HVAC system, like their AC's out, their heat is out, like they need that shit like today. Like
Yeah.
so like that is gonna get like that's a more of a needed product right now than like with solar. They're like, oh, I still got heat, I still got electric. I don't need to worry about that right now. I could do it later. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's not as urgent of a product or a service as the HVAC.
For sure. And one minor thing that you said, like that dude that just bought a $30,000 roof, that's the crazy thing with sales. It's like, bro, you can just, if you know your process, bro, you can just close like $30,000 tickets and you don't even have to worry about fulfillment. And sales, bro, that shit is never dying out. Like, no matter how much AI, whatever shit advances, like if you're really good at sales, bro, it's like you have that for life.
Marketing and sales are always going to be needed no matter
Yeah.
the format or the way that the world evolves. So I saw a really great quote I just posted on my Instagram, and it said AI is not going to replace you. A person using AI is going to replace you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to say it again. AI is not going to replace you. Another human being just like you that's using AI is going to replace you.
Yeah. What's your Instagram?
Mr. Grow Your Business
Mr. Great. Okay.
underscore.
That's your
So-
Facebook too, or your Facebook is just Chris Mateo?
Chris Mateo is just my
Okay.
Facebook.
Cool.
But on Instagram and everything, you can find me at Mr. Grow Your Business _.
Cool. I
And,
deleted Instagram, but I'll follow you on Facebook.
It's
I'll
it's
request.
important for us to realize that, like, because even with that, my topic for today is triumph and tragedy, right? Because you know, even last week we talked a little bit, Martin, about what was going on with you and all that type of stuff, and I had a couple people in my circle going through some stuff this week, last week after that. And I wanted to really talk about it because I talked about it myself. We all go through the tragedies. We all go through the tragedies. We all go through problems and setbacks and doubt and discomfort and all this type of stuff. And then we also all go through triumphs and wins and opportunities and things. But what happens is our brain, we have a brain that was created and I want you to think about the brain like it was an iPhone, right? Our iPhone was created 6,000 years ago, whatever, 6,000 plus years ago. That's the software that our brain has. You guys get what I'm saying? That's the level of Windows or Apple, iOS, whatever that's like 1.0. That's what our brain has. It's never gotten a new update. The hardware has updated as far as who we are, what we see around us, how we interact with technology, with each other, with people. That has evolved. Externally, the updates have occurred, right? But internally, the software is still the same. Internally, our mind and our anxieties, our fears, are all structured as if we were still living in the wild, as if we were still walking outside and a potential lion could come and kill us. You see what I'm saying? Even though that's not the reality, because again, we're 2,000 years evolved past that now. We don't have lions trying to kill us. We have bills that are stressing us. Now we have, goals and visions that are stressing us, but there's no imminent threat of like, oh, a lion's going, bite my neck off. Like that doesn't exist no more. But our brain interprets it and throws off these alerts, these notifications, as if it was the same level of intensity or fear. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Give me a one in the chat if you see, if you don't got your camera on. Give me a one in the chat so I know that you're with me. Does this make sense? Our brain back in the day, if there was a lion coming, it was going to throw off all these alerts. Be careful. Don't walk that way. I heard something over there. I see something in the bushes. Something's going on. So the brain is triggering all these hypothetical situations of things that could kill us, right? That's what the brain does now with little small tasks in our business, in our life, and the things around us. It amplifies it to make it feel like it's something that's so tragic, so major, so life-ending. When in reality, it could be just some birds that are flying out of a bush instead of a lion. The brain made you think it's a lion, but it was just some birds that shook up the bush and jumped out. You see what I'm saying? Our brain plays tricks on us because we don't have the actual updated system that's dealing with all the interaction, all the things that occur to us now in today's environment. Back in the day, just 20 years ago, there used to be the average American was getting like, I think 100 to 300 advertisements a day when they would drive down the road, the billboards, magazines, in the mail, all that stuff. They would get like 100 to 300. Now we get more than 1,000 to 3,000 ads a day, guys. 1,000 to 3,000. So you guys are sitting here thinking about, oh man, I'm bothering my clients by emailing them and texting them. Oh, I'm bothering my clients by calling them. I'm bothering them by doing this. They got 1,000 other things in front of their faces, guys. 1,000 minimum ads in front of their faces today. What are you gonna do to stand out? What are you gonna do to make sure that they pay attention to you? We have to play. Now that we understand that our software in our mind hasn't been updated in thousands of years, now we have to start playing the system, playing the algorithm to our advantage. Now we have to figure out how do we manually update this old software, one feature or one technique at a time. Does that make sense? You guys with me? Give me a one in the chat if you're with me. You're tweaking one feature at a time to update the software gradually, because you can't update the whole system because it's inside of your brain, and that it's attached to thousands of years of trauma, experience, and all this stuff. But what you can do is tweak one thing at a time. Right now, you guys are tweaking your business. You're tweaking your agencies. You're trying to update it, right? You're trying to get new system software, new downloads, new ideas, so you can tweak that side of your business, right? All of this is going to allow you to slowly, that's going to overflow into the next thing, and your update of your software is going to keep getting better and better. But it starts with understanding that I build softwares, I build websites, I build all these things and automations. When you're building these things, guys, it's not it's a guarantee that the software will have glitches. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? When you building something that's a software like Apple, that's why Apple had to drop 12 other versions of iOS. It's not because they were just updating it, it's because the shit was broken and they had to keep updating it to fix better things, right? Because people think when they hear the word update, they think, oh, it got better. No, they also patched and fixed the things that were worse. And that's what also made it better. Does that make sense? We have to patch and fix the things that we are doing as people trying to get 7-figure businesses, trying to live 7-figure lives. There's going to be tragedy. There's going to be trauma. There's going to be problems that occur. You're not special. I'm not special. Shit happens all the time, and it's bad, and it hurts, and it sucks. People get killed. People get raped. People get into bankruptcies. People go through all these different type of stuff. You get what I'm saying? And God forbid this happens to anybody, but the reality of the situation is that it could happen to any of us. And the reality of the situation is that if we sit around and always think and fear about those tragic and traumatic moments, we won't allow ourselves to actually update and fix to get past those moments and get into the moment of success and bliss and happiness and joy, because we've actually looked at all the contingencies and all the opportunities to fix those tragic moments from occurring in our life. Does that make sense? We update and fix things slowly so that those things don't affect us as bad as we fear. You get what I'm saying? Because we fear it, that it's going to kill us. It's going to be existential death from that situation. But if you actually plan accordingly, you can learn how to combat these tragic and traumatic moments. So let me give it some real tactical things that I learned. So like I'm right now in a transition space in my life, because I've been doing a lot of stuff in my business, in my life, marriage, trying to figure out what I'm going to do the next 10 years of my life. Because I'm not going to lie to you guys. I came from New York City. I grew up in a tough neighborhood. My dad made a successful business. I helped him with bread distribution, and we built out a $2 million business. And then and while I was doing that business with my dad with the routes, I was doing marketing and digital marketing on the side, and I grew that business to over $250,000. As I've been doing all of these things, I've been trying to figure out the next 10 years of my life, because I never really planned to make it to 30. I'm 30 years old right now. I never really planned to have that accomplished, put it that way. And the fact that I got here is like kind of like a new phase in my life where I got to figure out, okay, when do I want to have kids? When do I want to have my house? When do I want to settle down? When do I want to keep traveling and do all these other things? So it's been a very like reflective of my last 10 years, and then like envisioning my next 10 years. And I'm telling you guys all this because I'm getting to a point here. I had to take a mental checklist and a mental note about things that matter to me. And I had to break it down for myself and evaluate it. So let me give you guys some context. I evaluated all the sectors of my life that mean a lot to me. So what means a lot to me? Peace of mind. Like peace of mind, like not being like being happy and ready to go to work and ready to do stuff. Peace of mind is very important. So I scaled myself in a scale of 0 being no peace of mind and 5 being fantastic peace of mind. I rated myself, right? Then I went to the next thing, financial stability, 0 to 5. 0 being no stability, 5 being very stable. Then I went to pride and how much proud I would be about something. Then I went to legacy. I went to all these different sectors, right? And I just kind of like listed out the things that were important to me. And I had like, at the end of it, we had like 6 or 8 different sectors. I did this with my wife, and we ranked everything and gave ourselves grades. And this is to make different decisions. And it was the first time that I took like something that was cognitive or something that like is like an ideal strategy or thoughts, and I quantified it into numbers. And when I tell you that the result of being able to look at things from taking a cognitive question and critical thinking question and turning into a mathematical question, it really helps black and white situations. Because a lot of times we get stuck in the emotions of stuff. You know what I mean? Where you're going through something and you're overthinking it because it's emotionally draining. Can anybody relate to that? Give me a 1 in the chat if you can relate to what I'm talking about right now. Where you're going through something, and as you're going through it, you see that this is not really that big of a deal. Like it's like, okay, you missed a call, or you didn't do something with a client, or somebody wants a refund, or whatever the bullshit thing is, but it feels like it's gonna be the end of you. like this was the one thing, that the last thing that needed to happen, and I'm not gonna be able to get past it. Has anybody ever felt like that before? Unmute. Give me an unmute. Let me talk to me, guys.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, for sure, man.
Y'all with me on that? So what I realized that you have to do when you're going through these moments is turning that trauma off. I call it Becky. So in my voice, in my head, the voice that's like a little bitch in my head, her name is Becky. Okay? That's just like what the voice that I gave her. I don't know. That's the name I gave her. You could give her whatever name you want to give in your mind. But that's like the little devil in my head that tells me I can't. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, you're not gonna be successful. Oh, you're gonna miss that call. Like I do a lot of crazy shit, guys. Like a lot of crazy shit. Like I just drove today to Tennessee 4 hours to meet somebody, a millionaire that I want to work with, and I want to sell him my services. I don't know this guy. I listened to a podcast yesterday. And I knew that he was having an event today. The event is sold out. And I said, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to meet this guy. I'm going to get his name, his email, his phone number. I got here at 8 a.m. to this morning. I went and I spoke with the person. His team member told me, no, I can't speak with him. I stayed outside and waited, and I just got the guy's phone number, and I'm looking to have lunch with him later this afternoon. I don't know this guy from a can of paint. He don't know me. I'm scared that I could have wasted all the gas, all the hours of driving, 4 hours plus of driving, all my time and all the other shit I got to do today, right? All of that could have been fears and stuff that let me down and let me back. But I wouldn't have gotten his phone number from my house. I wouldn't have been able to get the opportunity to close $1 million deal from my house. I used to sell cars, guys. I used to sell wholesale cars, and I would have to drive 4 or 6 hours to go to the auctions to pick up cars, then drive them 4 or 6 hours back, then take them to the mechanic, then put them online, then flip them and sell them, and maybe drive 2-3 hours to go sell it to somebody who might say no when I pull up. They might say, I don't want the car no more. But one thing, when I would get frustrated, I would call one of my mentors. He was a young kid just like me, and he was selling the cars. And I would call him. I'd be like, yo, how the fuck you do this, man? I can't do this shit. I can't keep driving, spending my money on gas, spending my time driving to places, and people don't want to buy this shit. This is not business. This sucks. Right? You know what my boy told me? Somebody unmute and tell me what you think my boy told me when I told him when I was bitching about how I couldn't sell these cars. Give me an idea of what you think he said. Anybody, unmute, talk to me. Don't be afraid. Let's go. This is a conversation.
Did he say stop being a bitch?
Pretty much, but not those words, but something like that. Any other guesses? That's a good guess. Anybody else could guess? Again, I'm bitching to him, telling him I don't want to drive 4 to 6 hours to pick up cars and 4 to 6 hours to sell a car, maybe. What do you think my friends told me?
You gotta man up. That's what it takes.
You said what?
You gotta man up. That's what it takes.
Okay. I like it. One more. That's not it either, but one more. Anybody else? I'm gonna get one more. Gemma, if you want to be the queen in the room and say, give an idea.
I think he would probably say, you're not going to sell any cars from your house.
She got it. That's why I knew I was going to call on her. Because I knew she was going to get it. He said, listen, bro, it don't matter that you got an auction license. It don't matter. It don't matter that you could go get cars and make money with it. If you don't go and pick up the cars and go show the cars, you will never sell the cars. It doesn't matter that you got the knowledge, guys. It doesn't matter that you know how to do digital marketing. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. It doesn't matter that you are in this program. It doesn't matter. If you do not show more people your service, you will not sell services. If you do not talk to more people, you will not get more results. Knowledge is not the power. Execution is. Changed my whole business for the car business, because after that, I was so enthusiastic to go driving. It changed my whole mindset. I used to drive the 4 to 6 hours, and I was pissed. Damn, I gotta drive all these fucking hours. And then I switched my mindset. I said, yo, if I don't drive out here, I ain't gonna make no money. I can make anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 per car that I pick up and drop off. So if I don't come out here, I'm not making money. So it switched my whole mindset to how could I maximize going out there now? You see what I'm saying? So now on my 4-hour trip, now I set myself up for success. What I do, I have my snacks, I got my courses, I got, a little bit of weed ready, whatever. I got a little bit of different things. It's a real road trip now. It's a real road trip. You see what I'm saying? And I wasn't afraid to do the real road trip because I changed my mindset about the process, about the work that it took to get to the result. If I was mad, so another mentor mindset, if you plant an apple tree and that apple tree takes 7 years to bear first fruit, you might come back a year later and be mad at the apple tree that it didn't grow fruit. So you might end up taking that apple tree out, putting it somewhere else, and restarting the process because you think it's where the root is, right? But you're not understanding that it takes 7 years for this thing to grow and manifest into fruit. So instead of beating yourself up and wondering why it's not working and how all this shit is happening to me, we got to switch that into I'm winning the days. I'm winning this new thing I got to learn. Today, I don't got to sit here and take out my whole business and reroute it and put it over here and start over. No, I got to figure out how can I prune and nurture and update the thing that I've already been building, the stuff that I've already got going for me. That's how you start to triumph. That's how you start to take it to a whole nother level. I'm going to pause there. Mauro, I see you got your hand up, my brother. Talk to me. And I saw somebody else had a hand up. Yeah, I could bring it up. I'm sorry. I got a little carried away. I got excited.
How you doing, Chris?
Doing good, doing good.
Yeah, I see you excited there. Listen, I have a, I just want to figure out, for example, I'm in a point right now that I need money, so I need a client, no? My niche is MESPAS. I've been doing some work with some people. I've been talking with people on the phone, demo calls. I haven't got any client yet, but I'm very happy because I see the process. By more people contact, I get on the phone, I get demo calls and everything, no? But I have a situation right now, personal, I need money and I need to pay stuff. And I got some referral, some that is not in my niche, that they want to work with me because, so I don't know, because one of my main problems is that before I started in Agency Lab, I was doing a lot of, niches. So I said this time, okay, I'm gonna focus right now, on the best part, but I need the money. It's someone that I might get help.
So now what's the question? If you should take the client or not?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
So here's my survival question. My survival answer is get the money. That's my survival answer. So if you need the money right now, you got to pay your bills and you got to make sure you're good. Get the money however you can, because that's going to feed your family and feed you. Okay. So I'm not going to tell you to tell no to money that you need to eat. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first and foremost. The second thing is, I would also say, go harder with your niche. So if you don't want to take this person and you could wait another week, then you should be hitting up 1,000 to 5,000 people in the next week in your niche to try to make up for that deal.
Got it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's either you're going to take the deal, make the money right now, and deal with the consequences of not being able to process and systemize and automate because you got to do something different, or you triple down on your stuff and your niche and go after more leads so you can get more appointments, so you can get more opportunities to make money.
Yeah, got it.
I want everybody to understand this. We are entrepreneurs, and although that there is a playbook that Joel has laid out for us on how to get to a certain amount of money and how to choose a niche and go after that work, we also all have bills, families, and things to take care of every single day. So when you have to go off of the playbook to survive and to do what you got to do, whether it's get a little part-time, whether it's do a little side hustle or something different that uses your marketing, but not in the direct way that you want to be selling it and stuff. I've had to do all of it. All of it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You get what I'm saying? The goal here is survival. The goal here is to get to the next day so you could keep playing the game. Okay? We got to get to the next day so we could keep playing the game. Then the next day, you're going to solve another problem. Then the next day, you're going to solve another problem. We're just trying to get 1% better every day.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
So
totally.
I'm not one of those coaches that's going to beat you up for taking something out of the niche, bro. Just get the money, make sure you good, and then what I would say is the goal of when I do something like that, here's a key that you could take away is try to systemize and automate what you're doing for that unique client so that you can sell it forward to everybody else. You see what I'm saying? So now you're taking that unique client and you're templatizing what you did for them so that you could service more people in their niche. And now it becomes an entry point to the rest of that niche and not just a one-off. Make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So that's the way I would think about it, like trying to hack it.
Awesome.
Anybody else? I saw somebody else with their hand up. I'm talking. Give me some ideas on what you guys feel about what I talked about with the tragedy and triumph and tragedy. How do you guys feel about this topic? Anybody want to share any stories, any testimonials on something tragic that you triumphed and were able to win over? Talk to me.
I wanted to ask you a quick question about what was it? Triumph through tragedy. And I heard a quote from Andrew Tate of him saying successful people need to thrive and they need to be powerful inside of like pain and stress and anxiety and fear. And that's really helped me out because like every time I go do something difficult and like I hate it, I think to myself, the pain, the trauma, and the stress is good for me because it's going to make me grow. And in my head, I've just internalized like, okay, if I feel pain, if I feel stress, it's good. And I haven't put the label or the belief that all those things are bad things. I've put the belief that they are good things.
That's good. And that's amazing. Shout outs to Top G. So like, this is the way I have a formula called the 4 Ps, right? So this is my version of what you just said there. Yeah. It's called the 4 Ps, right? And it stands for pain. It stands for passion, purpose, profit. So first you go through pain, bro. You're going to go through some hard shit. For me, it was when I lost my godbrother to suicide. That was the hardest moment of my life because he was like my big brother. That was the pain. That pain transformed into my passion. I became passionate about helping other people live their dreams and make money doing what they love the way I couldn't help my godbrother, right? So that became my passion. Then from that passion to help others, created my purpose. My purpose is I want to impact small businesses to help them create worlds for their employees, for their clients, for their customers. I want to work with big businesses so I can have big impact and help people with suicide and anxiety. That was my purpose. Ending suicide, ending anxiety. That's my purpose. And then with all of those creates my profit. You see what I'm saying? I went from the pain, I went from the passion, I went through the purpose, and now I got profit. But the profit is the last one. And a lot of people try to start with the profit. But you got to go through the pain, go through the passion, and go through the purpose. If anybody's read Think and Grow Rich, one of the most important chapters in there is a burning desire. A burning desire. If you don't have a burning desire to do what you love, you will quit. The reason these people are multi-millionaires is because if you guys ever made 100,000, guys, it is the hardest thing. It is really, really hard. And when you make 100,000, you think it's going to be easy after you make 100,000. It just gets fucking harder, guys. I'm sorry to tell y'all this right now. If y'all think that y'all gonna get 100K, 200K, $1 million, and it's just gonna be like, oh, okay, I made it. It's easy now. No, you gonna have 100K, 200K, $1 million problems. It's a mentality switch on like, I gotta be okay with taking this pain because just like when I go to the gym, it hurts, but it's for my benefit. It's delayed gratification. we have to look at it like that and say, okay, this is a tragedy, this is a trauma, but how am I triumphing? How am I getting a lesson and a blessing from this quote unquote loss or quote unquote bad situation? Because remember, God has set up the world in a way where to some people rain is bad, to some people the sun is bad, but to the plants that's neither bad or good. That's just is, right? You think the plants is like, oh damn, I'm so mad it's fucking raining today. Like, the plants is like, oh, I'm so happy it's sunny. No, the plants is just going through the motions. They doing every day. They got to do what they got to do. They still got to grow that day, right? They still got to grow that 1% that day. Whether it's sunny or raining or not, they still got to do what they got to do. You got to have that same mentality when it comes to the tragedy or the triumphs. Gary Vee talks about this all the time. He don't care if people are praising him and telling him how much they love him, or if they're hating him and telling him how much they hate him, because at the end of the day, it's internal happiness that defines how much stamina you got in the tank, bro. If you don't have internal happiness, if you don't have internal like peace with the bullshit that's gonna go on in your business and your life and all the other shit, you're gonna be super, super anxious and stressed about bullshit because you haven't found that internal peace. You haven't made that clarity within yourself and gave yourself that grace, that time to push through the pain, push through the purpose, push through the passion. You see what I'm saying? What's to say here? I think the way society is nowadays is against us in the aspect everything is set up for instant gratification. So it's definitely good to make yourself used to delayed gratification. Well, now that comes back to what I was saying with the old brain and the new brain, right? Old brain has the mentality of being in the wilderness and it's instant gratification because it's instantly I could die from this lion or it's instantly I could be saved by reacting to this lion. Does that make sense, guys? Our brain is triggered. That's how come these AI, the algorithms that are on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, they're using all of our old brain shit against us. You see what I'm saying? They're highlighting all the stuff that we're afraid of. They're highlighting all the stuff that brings us anxiety, that brings us fear, because that's the stuff that keeps us on the platform scrolling for more and more hours. But you can also reverse engineer that and put yourself in environments like this and with the algorithm to actually benefit you, give you more positive feedback, give you more right mental attitude things to listen to. And now that helps you push through and update those patches in your software that might be leading to negativity. Does that make sense? None of us are immune to the malware of negativity, guys. Does that make sense? We all have that malware in our heads. We all have that in our system because that's the malware that was around to save us from the lions. You see what I'm saying? That's the software that was combating death from lions. Now our brain just took the death from lions and applied it to death from clients, death from team members, death from bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's not a reality. Like that shit is not gonna kill us. That's a false paradigm. You see what I'm saying? Us taking that, like Andrew Tate says, we're getting out of the matrix, right? We got to look at it for what it is, not for what we believe it is, or not for what our perceived emotions and stuff is letting us to believe it is. We have to see it for what it truly is. You are not the only one struggling with clients. That's what it is. That's what the reality is. You are not the only one that called and followed up 100 times and the client still hasn't responded. You are not the only one that send out invoices and stuff and they haven't purchased yet. You are not the only one that has hired a team member and it didn't work out. You are not the only one that a family member died this week. You are not the only one that a tragic situation occurred. You are not the only one. There's about another 1 million people going through the exact same thing right now, this minute, this moment. So now, are you going to be the only one that stays down? Are you going to be the one on the bottom half of that percentile that gives up and quits? Or are you going to be the anomaly? Are you going to be the one that's the 1% and stands up and keeps fighting and pushes through and triumphs because that's what makes championships. Championships aren't won in the first, second, or third quarter. Championships are won in the fourth quarter every single fucking time. You're going to see who's a champion when it's the fourth quarter, last 2 minutes on the clock, and everybody else is tired as fuck. And LeBron James is out there acting like this is his first rundown of the fucking game. Everybody else is exhausted. They can't breathe. That's how you know he's been through some shit. He's been through some shit to have that stamina at that level. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a one in the chat. Travis, what's going on, bro?
There were two questions before me. And I know Calvin had a question before I raised my hand. If you want to go ahead and answer his first.
Yep, Calvin, what's up?
Yeah, for sure. I just want to know, like, when something knocks you off your game, like, how do you get back into the game and, you know, not let it upset you?
I talked about that last week, and it's always going to come back for me specifically is two things. One, I always self-reflect, self-awareness, bro. I always reflect on myself and say, do I have the stamina and the mental energy and emotional energy to fight whatever the problem is in front of me right now? So I take it to that base level, like almost like a computer. I got to say, do I have enough RAM? Do I have enough gigabytes in my storage right now to take on another file, open up another window? You see what I'm saying? If that shit says no, like if my computer says nah, it overloaded, like you need to relax, you stress, you start thinking about this shit, you're going to get more stressed, going to get more anxious, beat yourself up. I shut down. I put my computer to sleep. I take a nap. I said that last time. When I'm stressed, when I'm anxious about something, I'll shut down everything and take a nap. That's the way I protect myself, because I cannot fix problems when I'm not fixed yet, when I'm not at my full potential, my battery's not charged up. Your computer cannot go on the internet if it's dead. Like it's not gonna work. No matter how you try, no matter how many buttons you hit, it's dead. That shit is not gonna work right now. Shut it down, turn it back on, let it reset, and then you could close the tabs that you need to close and open the tabs you need to open. You see what I'm saying? So that's my strategy, is one, self-awareness and knowing when I've reached my limit of mental health and peace first. Second is going to be rest. And then third is going to be creative expression. So doing things that I love to do that are fun for me. So I like to make music, like rap music. So I'll go in and I'll rap, or I'll sing, I'll do some stuff with my cousin, we'll make some music, or I'll do some videos. You get what I'm saying? Spit some heat. Give me a beat. So I'll do some stuff, like I'll read a book, I'll listen to books, I'll go for drives. I love going on drives. So like this whole drive over here, even though it was to do a business opportunity, you know, I drove out here to Tennessee 4 hours. It was also a mental clarity opportunity, because I needed that 4-hour break as well from the mundane, from the regular day shit too. So it was a 2-for-1. You get what I'm saying? So you gotta do creatively express yourself. That's gonna be super important. Whatever you like, if you like to learn about, like so geeky shit I do, like I call myself the hip hop nerd. Like what I like to do is I'll go and I watch all of like the technology companies' keynotes. You get what I'm saying? Like I'll watch their entire like 4-hour, 6-hour, like all the geeky shit that Tesla's doing with AI and with Investor Day and like cars and trucks. And that's my release. Like that's what I'm listening to that shit, like just enjoying it like it's sports. You get what I'm saying? So like be okay with giving yourself that time, because that's what builds you up and allows you to be energized to come back into the bullshit or whatever's happening in the business. You got to be able to come through with energy to face it, because the bullshit and the problem is always going to be there, and somehow they never lose energy, right? Like somehow they're always energized and ready to keep going and fighting. It's up to us to make sure that we're recharging those batteries and getting ourselves ready for combat. Does that answer your question, Kyle?
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks.
Perfect. Travis, talk to me.
Cool. So this is a question for my past self. Around a few months ago, I had a very large and long depressive episode where I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong, what I was believing wrong. And I want to figure out, or I want your opinion or advice on what to do if I know exactly what to do. I know I should be doing the outreach. I know I should be doing things to recharge my mental battery. I know I should be doing things that make me feel good or make me happy instead not make me feel good, just make me happy. And I should be doing things that improve myself. But none of those work. And I sort of don't know what to do. Like right now I have a very clear idea of what to do, but I would say a month ago, I knew everything that I should have been doing. I tried the majority of things that I have been hearing from like mentors or peers, people who I trust, and none of it worked. So I'm not really sure what to do.
What is the
none of that
environment that you're in? Like, what is in a regular weekday, like not weekday, week like a work week? How many times are you working alone versus how many times are you working with other people?
I would say for the majority of the part, I am 95% working alone and maybe 5% working with people. But the environment that I'm currently in doesn't support the entrepreneurial adventure that I want to, or like the entrepreneurial journey that I want to have.
What
So
does that mean? The environment I'm in. What environment are you in?
right now I'm in college, and the people who I'm around, the professors I'm around, I talked to Marcus the other day about this, but there isn't really anything that supports me aside from Agency Lab. And the only advice Marcus had for me was to participate more in Agency Lab, and that's what I'm doing here today. And hopefully I'll curate more of an environment that does support what I want
Your
to do.
university? What university you go to?
It's in Ohio, University of Cincinnati.
Okay, so let me give me some game, because I went to UConn Stores. It was my dream school to go to that school, and I went there for one semester, and I ended up dropping out. And one of the big things that was a problem for me was what you just said there, where I started to see myself as like very different from the regular college student versus who I was and what I was trying to become. And
Yeah.
I kind of regret closing myself out of the opportunities that the university was offering at its full potential, because I saw myself as being different or not. There wasn't enough opportunity. I can guarantee you that your college has opportunities, especially with entrepreneurship. I'm sure there's some type of pitch events going on, Shark Tank type of stuff. I'm sure there's fund managers and tech people that you could tap in with, and there's a bunch of different stuff that you can tap in with, partners and business partnerships and stuff, internship programs. There's 1,000 things that I'm sure your school has that you have not tapped in with, and that you're just assuming you're the only one. You're assuming you're the only one that's thinking like this. You're assuming you're the only one that doesn't that wants these things. I bet you there's another 50, 100, maybe even just 5 other students in your campus that think like you and want what you want, and they're congregating, they're at these startup events, they're pitching their businesses, they're talking to other entrepreneurs in the schools. You just got to go find where those people are hanging out.
I have a quick comment to say about that, which is kind of ironic that you bring it up. I participated and I was part of the there's a thing called the Center for Entrepreneurship at my school, and I worked there. I actually worked there for 2 semesters, and what I found, it still wasn't, I would say the entrepreneurial part was there, but as a personal healthy environment, it was pretty toxic. It's pretty toxic. It felt like corporate politics. It felt exactly like that, and I don't enjoy that whatsoever.
Well, you got to think about it, bro. You're at a university. At the end of the day, it's a big ass corporation.
Right. But yeah, I have been around, and I've been trying to find. I think I've been to 5 different states to try and find different people with different mindsets.
Then this is my response to that would be, if the market doesn't have it, then create it.
Right.
So what's stopping you from making a free event space, a free event every month? Talk to your university, say, hey, I want to start doing monthly entrepreneurship things. Talk to one of your professors, see if you could do it in their classroom or somewhere on campus for free, or even a local business that you could partner with and say, hey, I'll bring 5 to 10 students in here on Thursdays or Wednesdays, whatever night you want to choose, and you start doing your own fucking events.
they already do that. And what I found, I've connected with a bunch of people who are in entrepreneurship, but what I've found is that either A, their mental health or like their self-improvement journey is it's very depressing. It's very depressing to be around. There's a lot of negative energy, and the money might be there, but I feel like if the personality isn't there and you're still like wanting to be an entrepreneur, or you are an entrepreneur and you've made, let's just say, I know one guy who's making $10,000 to $8,000 per month. I don't feel like it's worth it enough for me to be around that negative energy to where it's like, okay, I feel like this is putting me down more than supporting me.
But that's my whole point of you creating your own party, you creating your own event. See what I'm saying? Because you're gonna dictate who you want to hang around with if it's your event.
Right.
So you first and foremost understand something. Most entrepreneurs, if they're being real honest with you and fucking with you, depending on how they speak with you and how they're, letting that message out, everybody's struggling, bro. The biggest of the biggest and the smallest of the smallest, we all got problems. So everybody's gonna struggle. So if they're coming to you from everything's the end of the world and it's the worst thing, and then obviously that's toxic energy. You don't want to be around all that bullshit. But if they're coming to you from, yo, we're both business owners, give me some ideas on how I could fix these problems, and he's giving you ideas on how to fix your problems to get to 10K, then that's a beneficial relationship. That's something that you could both constructive criticism with each other and build and support each other. But I wouldn't, to me, what it sounds like is this. I'm gonna be honest with you. It sounds like to me like you're making a lot of excuses of why the environment is not what you want it to be. And what I'm going to tell you is I had the same exact situation where the environment wasn't what I wanted it to be, and I had to create the environment I wanted. So I had to in both on the computer, listen to the Andrew Tates and the different people in the world that like Joel and all these other things to give me positive energy on my ears and while I'm listening to stuff. But also I had to go to the Better Business Bureau and the Chamber of Commerce and Toastmasters, so you could do monthly events. These are all monthly meetups in different cities all across the country that are entrepreneurship based, business based. You could go in there and start networking and building relationships with real business owners. You don't gotta wait for your school or for anybody in your current situation, like your circle of friends, to create the environment that you need, because at the end of the day, they're not the ones struggling with the anxiety or the depression. Is you. So you need to take that strength within you to create the environment that allows you to beat the disease. Does that make sense? The disease is not going to beat itself. It takes a village of people that are like cancer. We can't all, like, one person can't figure out how to beat cancer, but if we all research, all work together, all give the data, now we have a better picture on how we could defeat the enemy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
and
I would employ you to start to identify where are the opportunities to make the environment you want. Okay, I like this one person from acting class or from drama over here. I like this one person from art over here. I like this one person from psychology over here. I like this one person from business over here. Now let me put an event with all of these people and let all of us bring that energy and our different skill sets and opportunities to the table.
I got you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I want to ask you on your opinion now on like my mindset right now. I am in the mentality and the belief that even though like you're like the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most is that's who you're the average of. I know that's a very common saying, but I've implemented into my head very recently that I don't need to be a product of my environment. I told myself I internalize who I am in my environment. I am the environment, if that makes sense. And I wanted to ask you, is that a good way to approach it? Because
it is a strong mentality, but the reality is, bro, is that your environment dictates a lot of what happens, because you can mentally, like, it's just like people in the hood that been through shit, that they grew up in the projects, that they have drug invested neighborhoods and all that type of stuff. It's not that they want to sell drugs. It's not that they want to be gangsters. It's not that they want to be in gangs. It's not that they want to do all this stuff. It's that that's all they've ever known, and that's all they've ever seen, and that's the only examples that they've ever had. So it becomes a pathway in their mind of like, this is the only way, or this is like, I don't see any other ways. Until I started being around millionaires, I didn't think it was possible to make $1 million in a day, bro. I had to be around that environment and see people get money in their bank account, $1 million in one day. So I can be able to say, now I understand this is real, legit. This is what can, the environment, your exposure, what you exposed to equals what you get exposed with and monetized with. So if you don't think, if all of your friends and all of your family has only ever made $100,000 in their whole life, then they've never been exposed to somebody making $1 million in a day. They've never been exposed to that. So then they could never actually impose it, take it in, because it's not a reality around them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So even though you have a strong mental attitude of like, I am the environment, that is very true, because I set the energy wherever I go. I create that environment to rise to my energy levels. But at the end of the day, your goal is not to be the battery in every environment you go to, because what's that going to do? Dry your juices out, right?
Yeah.
You can't be the source everywhere you go, or else you're going to be drained out. You need to go to other places that could give you power. That's why you create these type of environments and go to these type of events and environments, so that you can get powered up from those people and then be able to come back to your environment and give the battery charge that you got from them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I'm coaching with you guys. I'm giving y'all game on my wisdom and the stuff that I've been through. But besides me giving you guys game now, you guys are going to be able to go and work on your team, on yourselves, with your partners, with your clients, and be able to utilize the stuff that I've been pouring into you guys into them. You see what I'm saying? This is how scalability and updates in the software work. It's not going to happen like with us humans. Unfortunately, we're not AI yet. So our stuff is not exponential. Our learning curves, they don't go like this. They don't go straight up. Our learning curve goes like this, diagonal, slowly. It's step by step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you're going each step up the mountain. You see what I'm saying? There's no elevator for humans. There's only steps to success. So we got to be okay with walking up those steps and not beat ourselves up, and try to be around other people that are at a higher level of the steps than us. The more we could be around those people. And one bar that you just said something very important too, because you said this dude's making enough money, but he's not happy, right? Or he don't have that peace. I would say you need to find mentors in all spaces, meaning I have spiritual mentors, I have financial and business mentors, I have marriage mentors. You get what I'm saying? So I got different mentors that I look at their joy and their happiness in that sector, and I try to get keys and mentorship on how I could build that side of my update and software up. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to have the answer. Like, you're not going to find one mentor that's the perfect human being. It doesn't exist. So your job is not to sit there and try to make this person, hey, maybe this guy is not the best mentor for happiness, but maybe he's the best mentor to help you get to 10K a month. You get what I'm saying? And you understand that relationship and how to nurture that, so you can keep what you want and let him keep what you don't want. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I had another question about something I heard recently. Iman Gaji said,
jump off, guys. So this is the last question, and then we're gonna jump off.
Okay, I got you. So Iman Gaji, he said networking is like the biggest bullshit if you're making under 10K per month, because you should just put your head down and work if you're making under 10K per month. And I wanted to know what you thought about that.
Who said that?
Iman Gaji.
Oh, so he's a big time. He make a lot of money, bro. So
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know.
a big time.
I'm a small fish compared to him, but I'm gonna tell you how I made my money was networking.
Yeah.
So that I have a gift for talking. As you guys can see, I love to talk. And I love to network, and I love to build relationships. So I'm a people person. I'm a creative. I started out in the music business and doing creative work like videos and merch and all this type of stuff. So I love to connect with people on a one-to-one level, and building those authentic relationships is what for me, works to build authentic business relationships in the long term. So that's how I've grown my business and been able to scale. But that doesn't stop. Like, everybody has different techniques. You get what I'm saying? Like, a lot
Yeah, I
of
feel
people
you.
grow through just online ads and doing that way. I use that as a supplement to add to the fire, not necessarily to start the fire. So depending on your technique and what you want to do, you can either use the ads to start it and the networking to add fire, or vice versa, use the networking to start it and the ads to add fire. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
So I think that's really going to come down to a personality type of thing, as well as how uncomfortable you're willing to be to get to what you want to do. Because I'm gonna tell you the truth, I wasn't really comfortable doing networking as much as I am now, but because I got results from it, I closed my biggest deals from it. I've now been a lot more comfortable doing it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cool.
So
Thank you, man.
for sure. And another tip on networking, you want to go to events and conferences and stuff that your target market is there. So you're not just networking at random shit that has nothing to do with your niche or nothing to do with your products. Like, I'm not going to network at the comedy club. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to network at, this is in a specific conference and event that I came to network at. You see what I'm saying? So like, you have to know targeting what you're going to go network with, because there's going to be costs to get there to do all this type of stuff. All right. Bless up, everybody. Dawson, bless up. Got to jump off. Hope everyone's good. How did you get around those people? Who said that? How did you get around what people?
The millionaires.
What?
The millionaires, you said.
What do you mean?
Like you said, you got to elevate your mindset. You didn't think it was possible to make $1 million in a day until you started hanging around those people and seeing that in a bank account. How'd you
So
get
you're
around
asking
those people?
how did I get around those people?
Yeah.
By networking.
Like going to
So-
those in-person events?
Yeah, by going to in-person events. So this was my strategy to this. The last bar, great question. You look at the people that are at the top of the mountain of where you want to get to. You find out what they're doing every single day, every single fucking day. You look at their Instagram, their LinkedIn, their Facebooks, their event pages, their business pages, and they're gonna tell you, I got an event coming next week. I got a webinar happening this week. I got a promo happening this day. Da da da. And you pull up, you reshare, you tag, you comment, and you are in these people's faces so fucking much, both online and in the physical, that by the time that they look at you, they're gonna say, damn, I gotta work with this person. That's how I've been able to close all the deals that I do, because I use the Dream 100 strategy, and I just stalk these people to the point where if they don't see or know my name and my brand and my business, they're just not using their softwares, and they're not on Instagram, they're not on Facebook, which I know they are because they're influencers, and that's what they make money off of. So this is how I get the most visibility. When you pull up to a networking event, I interview. That's something I started to do now. I started to ask like 3 questions, quick 1-minute interview of like, hey, what does daydream mean to you? What does growing your business mean to you? How do you do this? You see what I'm saying? And now I get a reason to interview them, get a quick reply on them, and then I could share that and tag it, and then they share and tag it because they said some dope shit. So now I get their traffic too.
Oh, you posted at the event and you're following them around.
I'm in the hallways. This is what I do, bro. I go to the events. I have my gimbal and my tripod with my microphone and my phone and everything ready to go. My wife is there recording, and I'm there. Hey, we're right here at ClickFunnels Live 2023. I'm here with Alex Hermosi. Let me ask you 3 questions. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about this? Here, boom. Oh, well, if this is the first way you make money, this is the second way you do this. Da, da, da. Cool. All right, perfect. I'm gonna post that later on, bro. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Boom. I leave. I post it. He reshares it. I just got 100,000 views.
Damn. That's sauce right there, bro. Appreciate it.
So this is when I tell y'all the Dream 100 strategy, identify who the top 25 influencers and top of the market in your niche are. You're gonna go fucking kill it. Like Martin, you talking about HVAC. Have you heard of 7-figure agency, Josh Nelson?
Yeah, I follow him.
So he's fucking killing it in the plumbing and SEO. Like, you should follow that blueprint. You get what I'm saying? So like you guys gotta look and do the research on who's killing it in your marketplace, and then reverse engineer that shit. It's already there. The ads are there. The funnels are there. The automations, emails, text messages, everything's already there. We just got to get the clarity on It's not about copycatting, it's about copying the right cat. You could be a copycat copying all the wrong cats and get nowhere.
Yeah,
Or you
that's
could be
good.
the right cat copying the right cat. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why we here, because we believe Joel is the right cat. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I love y'all, family. Great fucking call today. Make sure y'all comment in the group. I just left a comment over there. Make sure y'all type it up. I want to get more people in here. I want to try to get to 30 people every single call. So make sure you tag if you got any value from this, please tag us in the group chat in the Facebook group and just comment, yo, great call. Everybody should be there and tag some people, man. We love you. I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything y'all do. Let's win this week. All right. It's only Monday. We got a lot of opportunity, a lot of money to make. Let's stay hungry. Let's stay aggressive. And at me if y'all need some motivation throughout the week. I'm here for y'all. All right. Bless up.
What's up, Chris?